Hello and welcome to today's video. Today looking at another ink from the Barock 1920s line by Octopus Fluids. I did a quick overview of this entire ink line, I think it was earlier this year. Now I'm looking at a couple of individual ones. So today we're looking at Charleston. This is a really interesting coloured ink. It sort of falls into the honey browns, but also has like hits of green and things. It's really super interesting. Octopus Fluids is a German ink manufacturer, and Barock Ink was an ink company that has now gone defunct. And so Octopus Fluids has been making inks in their name, and they have two series now, and this is from the 1920 series, and I think it's great. 30ml, beautiful glass bottle here. You know, it does the trick of sitting on its side if you want to fill up when it's running low on ink. But we're not here to look at the bottle, so let's look at the ink itself. So here is my colouring card of Barock Charleston. You can see here, like, the lighter shading down this end is that beautiful honey. You get the darker browns, you're getting hits of like pinks and greens, and it's really interesting. And then it's not sheen, but it's got a gloss to it. Really beautiful, interesting ink. And it's easy to see why this is one of the favorites from that lineup. And here it is on 52 GSM Tomahawk River paper in an everyday notebook from Galen Leather. So you can see here, that green there, that is just me contaminating it with another ink on my finger. That's the color of the sort of smear. You can see here you get more greens and things coming through in the swatch. It's super interesting. I had this in the Lamy 2000 with an extra fine nib, which writes quite wet, and then I also wrote with it in a glass dip pen because I wanted to get just a little bit sort of more color on the page. I wouldn't say this is a dry ink, but it doesn't have that same sort of like vibrant saturation out of a pen that, say, even from this series, something like Cobalt Blue here, which you can see here, has. It's got a relatively low water resistance, but you can make out a little bit of sort of that grey that's left behind. But other than that, it performs pretty well. As per usual, this retails for €12.95 per bottle, about $15 US for that 30ml bottle. I mean, I think it's pretty decent value, especially for the quality of ink you're getting. On the reverse of this page, there's a few spots where the glass dip pen wants to try and come through, but it's performing pretty well. And of course, the fountain pen there is performing great, a little bit coming through from the swatch. But on the face of that page, you know, everything is beautiful and looks great. And all those beautiful shading and sort of interesting color qualities are coming through on this paper. Okay, got it on a couple of lower end papers now. So this is the student notepad paper from Spyrex. You can see there's a little bit more green to that sort of goldy honey brown, which is interesting. The lines are holding pretty clean, actually, especially even the glass dip pen line. There's not a whole lot of feathering, and this is like really not fountain pen friendly paper. The reverse of this page does show quite a lot of bleed. So, you know, it is not fountain pen friendly paper. So we are getting a lot coming through, of course. On the office copy paper, which I have here, you can see the lines once again. They're not too bad. There's a bit of feathering happening. If you look around like the O of Octopus there, there's, you know, a good amount of feathering on the F of Fluids. But generally speaking, the color is a little bit more washed out here as well. You know, it's definitely not the worst I've seen. And the reverse of this, we get lots of bleed through again. Not fountain pen friendly paper, not designed for fountain pens, but if you have to write on this kind of paper at work, this is the kind of performance you can expect. And then here we have it. And here we have it on Rhodia, one of the standards for fountain pen ink. Of course, the colors all look good. The swatch looks excellent. Some more of that sort of interesting green and stuff, sort of browns coming through. It's a really interesting color. It's not brown. It's not, you know, honey. It's not yellow. It's not orange. It's kind of all of them and none of them. But as you can see, all the writing looks fantastic. It's clean, it's neat, and you get a bit of shading and stuff happening as well. The reverse of this page, nothing has come through except where I put down like a whole lot of ink or the swatch. Other than that, it's very clean. Here is the chromatography for this ink. You can see that grey line left around at the bottom there. That's the same as we get when we do like the water tolerance test on the paper. And it moves through these like browns, pinky, sort of orangey colors into the more gold tones. And this is a really solid representation of what we see on the page. There's definitely a green sort of, you know, tone sort of in that middle area there. But I think it's looking very nice, and it's cool to see how these colors kind of separate in this format too. Okay, color comparison time now. So I have it back here on the color ring card. Now, obviously this ink is a really interesting ink with so much going on. So I've got a few different kind of inks to show off different things. So here I have Allspice, which is from Van Diemen's ink, which is a collaboration with Pole Prediction. And some of that mid-tone brown is very similar in there. Then we get something like Basilica Red from Troublemaker. And once again, some of those darker mid-tones are quite similar. Diamine Terracotta, some of the oranges are similar. And then Lamy Sepia, some of those browny reds are quite similar, but nothing is quite the same. This is a really interesting and unique ink. So all in all, I think this is a really fun ink. It's not going to be for everyone. It's certainly not going to be for everyone's professional use. But if you want something with a bit of color, a bit of character, something that's interesting, and maybe you're doing artwork, or you just want to journal with something that's a little easier on your eye, like it's got good page contrast, but it's not so dark that like you're reading high contrast between the white of the page. So it's an interesting ink. It's beautiful. It's got some nice qualities, and I've really enjoyed looking at it, and I'm going to continue to use this one. It's really fun. So this was Charleston from the 1920 Baroque set from Octopus Fluids. So I hope you found this Inky Minutes review of Charleston from the 1920 Baroque line from Octopus Fluids to be interesting and useful. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. It all helps the algorithm, helps me to continue to make videos for you. If there's another way you'd like to support the channel, please get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. A massive thank you to Octopus Fluids for providing this and a range of other inks for me to look at on my channel. Their support means the world to me, and I think they're really great inks. So jump over, check them out, and try this out for yourself. In the meantime, enjoy your inks, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.